If you found this video, I'm going to make a small guess. You're not in crisis exactly. Nothing has dramatically fallen apart, but something feels off. Like you've been going through the motions for so long that you've forgotten what it felt like to actually be present in your own life. You look fine. You function fine. But somewhere underneath all of that functioning, there's a quiet voice asking, when did I stop knowing what I actually want? When did I stop recognizing myself? That feeling has a name, and more importantly, it has an explanation that has nothing to do with something being wrong with you. My name is Debbie McIntosh. I'm a nature-based emotional resilience specialist, and in this video, I want to show you something that 20 years of observing the natural world taught me about why we lose ourselves and how we find our way back. Not dramatically, not all at once, just a little more light, gradually, gently. Let me describe something and see how close this lands for you. You're good at your life, capable, dependable, the person others come to when they need sorting out, and you do sort things out reliably, efficiently, without making any fuss. But somewhere along the way, and you couldn't tell me exactly when, I know, you stopped being able to answer a very simple question. What do I actually want? Not what needs doing, not what would make life easier for everyone else, not what you're supposed to want at this stage in life. What do you want for yourself? Just for you. And when you try to find the answer, there's just quiet, a kind of blankness, like reaching for something on a shelf and finding there's nothing there. You might describe it as feeling numb or flat or disconnected, or like you're watching your own life from slightly outside of it, going through the days competently, but not quite inhabiting them. Oh, yeah, you're getting things done. The bins go out, the emails get answered, nobody would know. And somehow that's the loneliest part of it. And the frightening thing, the thing you don't say out loud, is that you're not sure when this started. You just know that somewhere between all the doing and the coping and the holding it together, you lost the thread back to yourself. That's not a breakdown. That's not depression necessarily. That's not you failing at life. That's what happens when the part of you that knows how to pay attention to yourself, the part I call awareness root, has had no light, no tending, and no permission to exist for a very long time. Here's what I want to offer you as a different way of understanding this. You are not lost. You are unlit. And those are two very, very different things. When we say someone is lost, we simply imply they've gone somewhere wrong. taken a bad turn, made a mistake that needs correcting. But what I've observed, both in nature and in the people I work with, is something quite different. The sense of not knowing yourself, of feeling disconnected and foggy and flat, isn't usually the result of going somewhere wrong. It's the result of spending so long attending to everything and everyone outside yourself that your inner signal, that quiet, consistent voice that knows what you need and what you feel and who you actually are, has simply dimmed from the lack of attention. It's still there. It hasn't gone anywhere. It just needs a little light. In the 12 Sacred Roots of Emotional Resilience, the framework I've developed from over 20 years of observing how things grow and recover and find their way, this is the awareness route. And the awareness route is simply this: the gentle, non-judgmental practice of turning your attention toward what is actually happening inside you, rather than away from it. Not interrogating yourself, not analysing yourself into the ground, not forcing insight on a schedule, just turning gently toward yourself, the way you might turn a plant very slowly toward the light. Now, I know that might seem hard at the moment. Across many years and many different landscapes and seasons, one thing in nature has taught me more about awareness than anything else I've read or studied or been taught: the way the light arrives in the morning. Have you ever actually watched it? Not glanced at it, actually watched it. It doesn't announce itself, it doesn't switch on. There's no moment you can point to and say, there, that's when it changed from dark to light. It simply begins. Imperceptibly, the sky shifts from being something that isn't quite black, then to grey, then to a grey that has the faintest memory of blue in it. Gradually, so gradually you could almost miss it, shapes begin to emerge from the dark: the outline of a tree, the edge of a roof, a bird you didn't know was sitting there. Nothing in that landscape has changed. The tree was always there. The bird was always there. The whole scene was always there. The light didn't create anything. It just revealed what was already present. And that is exactly what awareness does. The things you feel, the exhaustion, the flatness, the quiet longing for something you can't quite name, they were already there. They didn't appear because you started paying attention to them. They were present all along, living in the dark, waiting for a little light. Awareness isn't what causes the difficult feelings. It's what allows you to finally see them clearly enough to understand them. And here's what 20 years of watching light arrive has taught me about this. You cannot rush the dawn. You cannot force it to arrive faster by trying harder. You cannot illuminate an entire landscape in one go and expect to see everything clearly at once. But if you stay still and you stay patient and you simply allow the light to do what light does, gradually, gently, without force, you will see everything that needs to be seen in exactly the right order. That is the awareness route. And it begins not with a grand revelation, but with one small, quiet, honest question. What's actually here right now? Ponder that question for a moment. What is actually here right now? I want to give you something you can use today. Not in a quiet moment. Most of us don't have many of those. In an ordinary moment. A busy, foggy, going through the motions kind of moment. I call this the one true thing practice. And here is all it is. Whenever you notice that you've got that disconnected feeling, that blankness, that flatness, that sense of watching your life from slightly outside it, pause for just 30 seconds. You don't need to sit down. You don't need to be quiet. You just need 30 seconds wherever you are. And ask yourself one question. What is one true thing about how I feel right now? Not what you should feel, not what would be reasonable to feel, not what you'd say if someone asked how you were. It's normally I'm fine. One true thing, just one, however small. It might be, I'm tired. I'm a bit sad. I don't know why. You might actually be fine right now, surprisingly. I feel disconnected. I feel slightly anxious. I feel nothing. And that itself feels significant. Whatever it is, just name it quietly to yourself. And that's the whole practice. You're not trying to fix what you find. You're not trying to analyze it or resolve it or make it go away. You're simply practicing the act of turning toward yourself and telling yourself the truth. Because that tiny, quiet, honest act is how the awareness route begins to strengthen. Not in grand revelations, in 30-second moments of true thing. Try it once today, just once, and notice what it feels like to be even briefly honest with yourself about where you actually are right now or in any given moment. You see, the most important thing I've learned about feeling lost is this. You don't find yourself by looking harder. You find yourself by learning to pay attention differently, gently, without judgment, the way dawn pays attention to the landscape, not forcing, not rushing, simply revealing what was always there. You are not lost. You are unlit. And light, when you allow it, always comes. That's the awareness root. And it sits at the very heart of the 12 roots of emotional resilience. Because without it, everything else we'll try to build has no foundation to grow from. You cannot tend a garden you cannot see. If this has resonated today, the next video in this series is about something that often follows close behind the feeling of being lost. The fear of trying again after everything you've already tried has let you down. It's called When You're Scared to Start Again. And it might be exactly where you are right now. And if you're ready to go deeper than a single video can take you, to work through all 12 routes across a full year with a monthly video, a worksheet, a weekly Monday check-in, and a live monthly session with me where you can bring your real questions, Wild Hot Seedlings is where that journey lives. The link is below this video when you're ready. For now, try the one true thing practice just once today. You don't have to see the whole landscape, just one true thing. That's enough to begin. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.